Hello and welcome back to Lithgow City Raceway. My name is Matt Nippers from Go Race Promotions. Thank you for joining us one more time as we continue our coverage of the third round of the 2019 Retro Karting Association. Clubman Light and Heavy is coming up next as we look at some slow motion shots of the class going through turn one. That was the Clubman Light class. It was a great turnout for the Clubman class, a great initiative from the Retro Karting Association to bring back the Clubman class, and it's great to see so many of the KT 100S returning to the track. Great memories of the KT 100S from the mid-90s and early 2000s, as it was one of the most popular classes in Australian karting. As we take a look at some of the drivers on the grid, that's Aaron Jackson, the number 13 from Measureworks Racing, starting in 4th position. Aaron's been putting on quite a show for us. He's had a kart that's been gripping up probably a little bit too much, and we've seen him bicycling his kart both in F100 Heavy and Clubman Heavy all weekend, making for some spectacular shots. As we now look towards the number 6 of Melinda Price. He gives us a bit of a wave there. Thanks for that, Melinda. All the way from Victoria. She's starting off of 4th position. It's been pretty close racing all day from Clubman Light and Clubman Heavy, and as we look at the number 17 of Paul McKinnon, another driver that we are very familiar with here at Go Race Promotions. Paul currently racing in the 4SS Thundersport Tour and dominating the light class. So Paul's here this weekend running 3 classes actually, as this round is coinciding with the Combined Districts Kart Club monthly meeting, so other classes are out there, and Paul has been running in the Tag Heavy class, which is the biggest class of the weekend, incidentally, as we look at Ben Savage. Coincidentally, Paul's main rival in the heavies. He starts off 2nd position for the heavies. So we've got a bit of a dynamic in this class with 2 classes running simultaneously, and we'll be focusing on both drivers throughout our coverage as we look at Michael Riley. Definitely one driver to keep an eye on in the light class, running the blue plate, marking the state champion in this class. So really good to see Michael out there again as we join Reef Corbett. Currently the pole sitter for Clubman Light, number 11. So Reef is the one that everyone is trying to catch as we're about ready to go racing now. Go for a walk up the grid, try to make our way around some of the drivers. Now, look, very front of the field with the number 11 starting off pole position. Can anyone do anything about Reef Corvette? Let's go racing to find out. So let's run you through the grid. On pole position for Clubman Light, it's Reef Corbett in the number 11. Starting beside him is the number 77 of Michael Riley. Nathan Cicluna in the number 5 starts off 3rd, while Melinda Price rounds out the 2nd row. Simon Dartell in the 89 will start off 5th, while Darren Turner in the 97 starts out of 6th. And rounding out the field will be Evan Broten. Sorry to Evan. The karts make their way out of the outgrid and onto the track. Drivers weaving to get some temperature into those tyres already. It's starting to get a little bit cold out here at Lithgow City Raceway. As the Clubman Heavy field now makes its way out, let's run you through the grid for the heavies. Paul McKinnon is your pole sitter with Ben Savage starting beside him. Aaron Jackson at number 13 heads up the 2nd row, while Adrian Rosetto starts beside him. 5th place is the 51 of Paul Thompson, and Matt Sydenham will start out of 6th. David Smith in the 68 starts in your 7th position, while Glenn Woodward is in 8th. Jason Bush will round out the field in Clubman Heavy, and he starts out at 9th. As drivers make their way onto the main straight. A few drivers coming out a bit late, the karts not firing, but now they've got them started. Very good to see. course, the KT100S was notorious for being difficult to start. None of these cars running electric start, they're all push start, so we're going way back into the dark ages of karting, if you will. This was also probably some of our best times in karting. It's great to see the Yamaha KT100S back out there again. We're getting set for a start. The Clubman light field almost completely set up to go racing as we're waiting for Darren Turner to make his way onto the back of the field. So we're getting set for a start. We come around the final corner as we go. No, we are not racing just yet. Starter wanted to give Darren Turner a bit of a chance to get into a grid spot. The heavies now make their way through, but obviously they're not going to go racing. So Rick Corbett, what can he do to hold off Michael Riley and Nathan Cicluna? Had to do it the hard way. He had a problem in qualifying, wasn't able to make it out, so he had to go from the very back of the grid, and now he is off pole position for this final. They make their way around the final corner one more time. We're getting set for a start, and we are racing. The lights are out, and away we go as Rick Corbett gets the whole shot in the lights, with Michael Riley bringing up in second place as we look on at the heavies to make their start, as we are racing with them too. Who will get the whole shot into the first corner? It is going to be Paul McKinnon with Ben Savage bringing up second as the whole field streaks through turn 2. Bit of nudging and barging going on through there as we refocus on our leaders in the light class. Rick Corbett is hanging on to the lead ahead of Michael Riley. The 77 ahead against the number 11. Corbett and Riley are now starting to break away from the rest of the field as they streak down the hill through Siberia. Now Corbett and Riley right onto the back of the number 11. Thought about a move there. You could see he was thinking about it. Number 11 was a little bit unstable there. You could see Corbett's arms flashing as they went through the second to last corner as Riley goes for the move into turn 1. A great move from Michael Riley. Relegates Rick Corbett back down to second position. As this is bringing Nathan Cicluna a little bit closer as they're starting to leave Melinda Price behind. As Corbett thinks about the move going into the hairpin at the end of the back straight. Cicluna really starting to close that gap to these two. They're starting to bicker a little bit. Riley urging his cart forward as they cross off another lap and make their way through turns 1 and 2. Riley leading Corbett with Corbett just flipping that turn 3 curve, and you could just see the cart was unstable, destable going there, but it hasn't really slowed him down as Corbett goes for the move and takes back the lead. This brings Cicluna back a little bit closer to these two. Just see that 3 cart length gap getting reduced down to 2 cart lengths between the 77 and the 5. We cross off another lap. Riley thinks about it again, another move through turn 1, but Corbett switches back on the 11, and now Cicluna is right into this. So an entertaining exchange between Riley and Corbett as Corbett now starts to stretch the legs of the number 11 down the back straight through the hairpin. Right as they make their way back up the hill, Riley just starting to drop off the back of Corbett. He's now got Cicluna on his rear bumper to think about. As Cicluna thinking about the move going into turn 1 as we focus on the Clubman heavy race as Ben Savage now takes over the lead from Paul McKinnon. We really missed that move, so Savage leads McKinnon. We cross off another lap for the heavies. Through turn 1 they go. Savage ahead of McKinnon through turn 2. They streak up the slight rise of turn 3 and begin the descent into Siberia. The front two heavy guys are now starting to close the gap on the back of the light class. So will lap traffic start to play their part in this race. And McKinnon, very experienced driver, has raced overseas way back. Now races just about anything he can get his hands on these days. So good to see from McKinnon. He's out there having some fun in multiple disciplines, ranging from the 4-strokes, even dabbling in KZ at the last round of the KZ2 Super Series. He's also built his own chassis and was racing it this weekend in Tag Heavy. He's doing quite well, but had a bit of an upset moment in the final race of the heavy. So better luck next time to Paul. But a great debut for his own chassis as he closes up on Ben Savage. Ben Savage just, I don't know if he was just face palming himself there as McKinnon just launches it up the inside going through turn 1. So Savage must have made a mistake somewhere on that lap because McKinnon just blows that gap down to absolutely nothing. Now Paul McKinnon leads the heavies as they streak down the back straight through the hairpin and now make their way back up the hill towards pit corner. McKinnon hasn't seemed to have dropped Savage though, so maybe it was just a small mistake from Savage that allowed McKinnon through as Darren Turner sidesteps the leaders of the heavies. Great sportsmanship there from Darren Turner in the 97. Doesn't interfere with this race, so thank you very much to Darren. Savage starts to close back up on the 17. Again, he grabs the top of his helmet. So maybe Savage has got an issue with his car. He's just trying to see what is going on. And the helmet's just interfering with his vision. So we won't know what's going on there. We may have to try and get a clarification from them as we refocus on the leaders of the light class. Only a handful of laps to go. It's Reed Corbett leading Michael Riley as they cross off yet another lap. So they're coming up on some lap traffic in the form of, make out that number, can't really see it very clearly. It is the last of the heavy drivers. As Corbett now ranges up onto the back of the 68. That's David Smith. He sidesteps Corbett, but slots in between Corbett and Riley. So that helps Corbett a little bit. Yes, Riley held up a little bit through the final corner by David Smith, but makes his way around now. That has cost Riley too much. This will just be a case of Corbett not doing anything silly, not taking any unnecessary risks, keeping that kart circulating around the Lithgow City Raceway. As he comes down the back straight through the hairpin and up the hill one more time. Number 11 leads the 77. Onto the main straight. Start yet another lap. We're getting to the tail end of this race now as Corbett makes his way around the midfield through Siberia. They put a lap on one of the heavy drivers. I think that must have been Glenn Woodward. Through the hairpin they go one more time. Reef Corbett, your leader. Michael Riley in second and Nathan Cicluna. That is the final lap as Reef Corbett wins this race as we refocus on the battle for first in the heavies. It has gotten really tight with the number 91. He might play a part in this, but no. McKinnon will come out of the final corner leading the race and takes the checkered flag from Ben Savage. A great race between Savage and McKinnon as we look at the final results, starting with Clubman Light. Reef Corbett, your winner from Michael Riley, 2 seconds being the final gap. Nathan Cicluna rounds out your podium. Simon Dartell in the 89 finishes 4th, while Melinda Price rounds out the top 5. Evan Broughton finishes 6th position. We saw him just playing a small part in the heavies race, and Darren Turner rounds out the finishes. Meanwhile, in the Clubman Heavy, it was Paul McKinnon ahead of Ben Savage. Very tight margin there, 0.121 in the end. Third was Aaron Jackson. Fourth was Adrian Rosetto. And Matt Sydenham rounded out the top 5. Paul Thompson in 6th position, ahead of David Smith, that should be. While Glenn Woodward finishes 8th. And Jason Bush rounds out the finishes. We hope you enjoyed this race, as we have one more race to go. It is the Formula 100 Heavies coming up. We hope to see you then. My name is Matt Nipris from Go Race Promotions.